Launching tonight, a small boat migrant who openly called for the death of all Jews has been released from...
Breaking a convicted extremist who called for mass murder just walked free from a British prison, again. And tonight, he's not alone. This is Abu Wad, twice imprisoned, openly advocates for the death of Jews, poses with military-grade weapons on social media. Under Keir Starmer's emergency SDS 40 release scheme, he's back on UK streets, along with 40,000 other prisoners walking free after serving just 40% of their sentences. The policy was meant to ease overcrowding. Instead, it lit a fuse that exploded across Britain last night. If this makes your blood boil, hit subscribe now. Because what happens next will shock you even more. Let's talk facts. £8 million spent every single day on migrant accommodation. Violence up 28% since early releases began. British prisons sitting at 99% capacity, the highest in Europe. Starmer's solution? Empty the cells faster and hope nobody notices. They noticed. Within 2 hours of Abu Wad's release hitting social media, London erupted. At 5:20 p.m, protesters from Stop the Boats groups surrounded 2 police vans in Westminster. By 5:37 p.m, 19 streets were paralysed as crowds stormed shopfronts. By 6:10 p.m. sharp, fireworks weren't celebrations. They were weapons volleyed directly into police ranks. Officers radioed desperately. Sector 4 is lost, fall back immediately. The chanting stopped. Open street warfare began. Starmer issued an immediate statement. The blame lies entirely with the previous government. We inherited overcrowded prisons. We're simply relieving an impossible situation. The response was brutal. 62,000 comments flooded social media within minutes, accusing him of breathtaking hypocrisy. Opposition leader Nigel Farage fired back. Up to 1,000 illegal migrants arrive by boat every single day. You're spending millions housing them in hotels. You're not relieving overcrowding, you're creating chaos. At that exact moment, 3 more boats made landfall on the south coast. Here's what's shattering Britain's social contract. An 84-year-old pensioner just lost her winter fuel payment, £300 that kept her warm through last winter, due to budget cuts. Meanwhile, Abu Wad gets taxpayer-funded housing with central heating included. A British grandmother gets prosecuted for not paying her TV licence fee. A foreign national with extremist ties walks free, twice, with full state benefits. A decorated military veteran gets investigated by counter-terror police for posting a meme. Abu Wad violates his licence, gets recalled, and is now being released again. This is the 2-tier justice system Britain is rejecting. A London judge, speaking anonymously, revealed the broken machinery. The chance of successfully deporting a failed asylum seeker is barely 13%. Our hands are legally tied. If asylum seekers claim they're LGBTQ+, or recently converted to Christianity, British courts have almost no legal power to remove them, even convicted criminals. They argue they'll face persecution back home. Under current human rights law, that's enough to block deportation indefinitely. One immigration lawyer admitted off the record, illegals are swearing in court they've joined the LGBTQ+ community. They're effectively mocking the law, and we can't do anything about it. The loopholes aren't accidental, they're structural. While British cities burned last night, 1,000 migrants arrived on the south coast. Like every other day this year, we're sending millions to France to stop the boats. They're sending us thousands of undocumented males in return, many of fighting age, with 0 background checks. The Royal Navy doesn't intercept these boats. They escort them to shore. Officers have been politically handcuffed. At 7:10 p.m, a counter-protest materialised. Demonstrators waving flags in foreign script moved toward the original crowd. Police scrambled 6 vans, anticipating collision. One counter-protester, who arrived by boat himself, told reporters, "I came here for a better life. We will fight for our existence until the end of days." 2 Britons facing each other across concrete barriers, both claiming the same streets. By nightfall, the toll was staggering. 134 arrests across multiple cities, 27 vehicles incinerated, 89 police officers hospitalised, 5 migrant hotels set ablaze, 3 immigration centres surrounded. Glass and bricks rained down on police lines. Officers in Northern Ireland executed counterattacks to regain control. Live news feeds suddenly cut out, citing technical difficulties, but smartphone footage flooded social media, showing what mainstream media wouldn't. Police lines collapsing, officers retreating from burning buildings. The message was undeniable. These weren't organised militias. These were ordinary citizens, shopkeepers, taxi drivers, construction workers, who've watched their communities dissolve while Starmer opens prison gates wider. This isn't about one prisoner, it's about a pattern. British veterans are told there's no social housing available. They wait years. Meanwhile, entire apartment blocks get requisitioned overnight for asylum seekers who arrived illegally and burned their passports. NHS waiting lists hit 7.6 million people last month, an all-time record. That's not bad luck. That's collateral damage from a population increasing by the size of Birmingham every 2 years. Small businesses are closing at record rates. Crushed by tax hikes to fund a border crisis, Starmer refuses to seal. Women report they no longer feel safe in neighbourhoods that transformed overnight, dismissed as xenophobia. The grooming gangs that terrorised Rochdale and Rotherham didn't disappear. They learned to operate under the cover of cultural sensitivity. Leaked police documents show officers were ordered not to investigate certain communities for fear of being called racist. Thousands of British girls paid the price for that cowardice. Those gangs are still operating. They've just learned to stay quieter. Here's Britain now. A silent prayer outside an abortion clinic gets you arrested. Calling for jihad on a megaphone gets you a police escort. Farmers face crippling inheritance taxes that will force them to sell ancestral land. The asylum system costs £3 billion annually, and rising. Christmas markets require concrete anti-terror barriers. The individuals who made those barriers necessary, many receive amnesty. Phone theft in London hits one every 2 minutes. Machete attacks have replaced knife crime in several cities. Police morale has collapsed. Officers report being ordered to protect empty migrant hotels instead of patrolling neighbourhoods facing rising crime. Recruitment is down. Experienced officers are retiring early. Those remaining feel abandoned. One officer told reporters anonymously, "We're told to be soft on certain groups and hard on others. We've lost the respect of the communities we're supposed to protect." Starmer claims Britain faces a £22 billion financial black hole. Yet somehow, endless billions fund the asylum backlog, legal challenges against deportations and hotel accommodation. While British families wait years for council housing, human rights lawyers are buying second homes with legal aid fees generated from blocking deportation orders. Failure is more profitable than success. We're paying lawyers millions to prevent us from enforcing our own laws. Last night wasn't just a riot, it was a revelation. Police lines didn't just break, they evaporated. Officers admitted on camera they'd lost control as units retreated from burning buildings. Broadcasters cut away. Starmer's government labelled protesters far-right thugs without addressing their rage. But these aren't extremists. They're people told to stay silent while their country transforms without consent. While their jobs vanish, neighbourhoods change, daughters are groomed, services collapse, and their taxes fund it all. Britain used to be a nation of law and order. Now it's a nation of containment. Containment of truth. Migrant crime statistics suppressed. Containment of statistics. Deportation success rates buried. Containment of anger. Anyone speaking out labelled far-right. Teachers are resigning because classrooms have become impossible. Nurses use food banks while new arrivals get loaded debit cards. Starmer treats the European Court of Human Rights as a deity and the British public as a nuisance. Every deportation gets appealed through Strasbourg. Every appeal costs millions. Every delay emboldens the next boat. This is the first government in history to actively fund legal challenges against its own deportation orders. What terrified the nation wasn't just burning cars. It was the silence from Downing Street about Abu Wad. His name wasn't mentioned in Starmer's statement. His crimes weren't acknowledged. His release wasn't explained. The message to every household was unmistakable. If you're a law-abiding British citizen, you're paying for your own replacement. Britain isn't being led. Britain is being sacrificed to meet a quota never voted on, never debated, never consented to. For months, leaked memos warned of this breaking point. These uprisings aren't surprising. They're inevitable. The burning vehicles sent one message: do not push a population until they have nothing left to lose. A government that fears being called intolerant more than it fears violence will always choose the wrong side. This story is just beginning. If you want the unfiltered truth about what's happening to Britain, not the sanitised version, subscribe right now. Share this before it gets buried. And comment below. Is this the end of Britain as we knew it? Because what you decide will determine what happens next. The clock is ticking. And the streets are watching.